Hey guys, Stephanie from Innovative here. I'm obviously not in the office today, coming to you from my lovely attic work from home office that I suppose will be in for the foreseeable future. And I'm sure, like most businesses, you're kind of up against having to make some similar decisions. Maybe you're trying to figure out, can my employees work from home? Who do I send home? How's this going to work as we try to keep our people safe, keep our community safe, and hopefully we can get through this coronavirus COVID-19 crisis sooner rather than later, and life can resume to normal. But in the meantime, here we are. I'm sure you have people working from home, and you might be struggling with, how do we stay productive? How do we communicate? How do we collaborate? How do we not lose touch with the people that we're just so used to walking through the front door and spending time with every day and getting to collaborate because they're just down the hall, and we might be less inclined to pick up the phone and have those conversations. So hopefully your business has planned for this, at least done a little bit of training around it, and folks know the tools that are available to their disposal. Hopefully you have a VPN set up that people can access your network securely from their home offices. But I also wanted to share with you a tool that we love at Innovative and that we use every day, and that you probably, if you're a Microsoft Office 365 user, that you have access to, and you might not even know the full power of it and how it could be helping you through this situation. And that tool is Microsoft Teams. We're, as I said, big fans of it at Innovative. We use it all the time. You may think of it as Microsoft's chat function. It replaced Skype maybe a year and a half ago, and it can do so much more than just chat. It has screen sharing capabilities and file sharing capabilities and collaboration tools that can really be something that's already available. Folks can just start using it right away. You don't have to install anything. You don't have to, hopefully, you don't have to go out and purchase any additional licenses or anything like that. If you already have Microsoft Office 365 licenses for your team members, you most likely have access to Microsoft Teams. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and just kind of walk you through some of the features that I think are really helpful in continuing to collaborate with my own team members and stay productive. And not only that, but just stay connected to the folks that I spend my time with every day. And I don't have to feel so alone sitting up here in the attic by myself. So here's a screen share, and hopefully find this information useful. Okay, so here is my screen shared with you. I'm just going to go ahead and open the Teams app. I actually have it pinned to my taskbar down here, but in case you don't, you can just go ahead and type in Teams, and you'll see Microsoft Teams. You go straight into there. As you can see, we've been using this for quite a while, so I have a pretty large recent chat history. It takes you right into the last chat that you had opened. You can search by contacts. And this is probably the chat functionality that most people are familiar with. If you're using Teams, you're probably just using it as that one-to-one chat feature. The cool thing is that you can have the one-to-one chats. You can have a chat with a single person. Here's my chat with my colleague Lisa, who actually works full-time remotely in North Carolina, so she's pretty used to this technology and really has been probably the one that's least affected of all of us, since she's working remotely all the time. So I can start in a chat with her and then say, maybe we're working with some more people, we can add some of our colleagues here, and I can create a group chat with whoever I need to collaborate with on any given day. We have some teams that are already set up. We have a company-wide team, and the cool thing is, whenever you create these teams, the default is that it will create a channel for you called General, and that's just where your kind of general communication can live. I have a team here with a freelancer who works on some of our marketing content, and we just have a general channel. You can see some of our other channels have a channel just for videos that we share with each other, or different functionalities. our technical team, they have a channel that we call Shenanigans, and that's just where we put all of our fun memes and jokes and chats and things that aren't necessarily serious work related things that you know that you can ignore when those notifications come up, but if you just want to go back in and kind of laugh with your coworkers. So that's an example of how we use Teams to maintain that kind of fun collaborative culture that we have together. But it's not just about the chats. You'll see by default, every chat has files and organization tabs up here. So you can share files just with that person, and it's all going to stay directly in your chat. So this is Lisa. This is a file that she and I were working on and collaborating on. So we shared that directly into our team's one-to-one chat. In cases where you might be collaborating with a group of people consistently, you may want to set that up on a Teams channel. So you can see Lauren and I here have a pretty large repository of files that we're sharing back and forth with one another. These files do not live on your server. They're going to live on your SharePoint site or on your OneDrive. So it's important to note that these files are not going to be backed up with your server. They need to have a cloud-to-cloud backup solution, or you would want to be pulling them from your server and putting them in here for sharing purposes. But it's a great way to keep those files together. Some of the collaborative functions, so if you're chatting with somebody, you can actually video call right in the Teams if you wanted to have a video conference with somebody, or if you're like us and you have a different video conferencing solution that you use. For example, we use Lifesize. Teams integrates with a ton of other applications, and I'll show you that here in just a second. But instead of using the Teams video function, I would just click our little Lifesize button down here, and I can instantly start a Lifesize video chat with whoever I'd like to talk to, or I can go into one of our existing meeting rooms that we have set up directly into our Lifesize chat. If you're not using Lifesize, you may be using one of the other video conferencing chats. I know Zoom is a popular one. You can see that Zoom also has an integration directly into Teams that you could add your account and utilize that functionality right within the Teams feature. The other cool thing right in the chat function is you can screen share. So if Lisa and I are collaborating on this, I was able to share this document with her, and then she asked if I want her to open it, and I'm just going to say, no, I'll open it and share my screen so you can show me what you'd like corrected. So here I'm going to share my screen with her, and I could go into the files and open up this file. And if we were collaborating on it and maybe she had a question or wanted to show me something in the file, I could actually give control of my screen to her, and you can see she's taken over, and maybe she's going to point out an area in that document, and we could also be on the phone and we could be talking through this, and she could be pointing these things out to me and working through it. And then I'll just go ahead and take the control back, and we could continue collaborating. And then when we're finished, I would just stop presenting, and then I can go back and maybe make the changes that we talked about, or she would make them or whatever, and we could just continue collaborating like that. If you're using your Microsoft Outlook calendar for scheduling, you can actually schedule a meeting with Microsoft Outlook with everyone that's in your chat or in your team directly in Teams, so you don't have to go back and forth out to Outlook in order to do that. So before I wrap up, I just wanted to point out there is So much functionality to Teams, and especially if you're using other applications that integrate with Teams, really the sky's the limit. I'd mentioned here you can add tabs pretty much to any one-to-one chat or any Teams channel that you might have. We utilize the OneNote integration a lot. If you're sharing Excel files, you can open those documents directly in Teams so that you can be working on them together and collaborating. Plus, pretty much any other app that integrates with Teams can be turned into a tab directly in your Teams channel or in your one-to-one chat. Down here on the apps button, you can see all of the apps that integrate. You can search for them by their functionality, what they do, productivity. There's just so much that you can do with this application, and especially as we're all kind of being forced to be a little bit more remote than we might normally be, it's really a great time to get familiar with it and get comfortable with everything that this tool that is most likely already at your disposal, get familiar with everything that it can do for you. So there you have it. That is my summary of the features within Teams that I'm using most often to stay productive and collaborative while we're on this stretch of working from home. I really encourage you use either the video functionality within Teams or the integration to your Lifesize if you use Lifesize like we do, or Zoom or GoToMeeting or whatever video platform you use, especially as people are kind of cooped up in their homes and have less interaction. It can get lonely, it can feel isolated, and just seeing that face-to-face human contact can really help people stay motivated, help them feel engaged. It might be awkward at first if you're not used to those video functions and those video calls, but it really will help your business in the long term. It'll help your employees in the long term. It will help them communicate and stay collaborative. So try it out. Stay safe, stay healthy, keep washing your hands, and hopefully we'll be seeing you all face to face pretty soon. Thanks.